Greetings, my name is Bob Hindle and I'm with Neighbors for Life, and I thank you for coming to our website www.neighborsforlife.org. The ends justify the means. Let's take a look at that. Number one, what did President Obama, or then candidate Obama, promise about health care reform? It would be bipartisan. Now, last time I checked, bipartisan means that when you have legislation, you have Democrats and Republicans voting for it. How many Republicans voted for this legislation? I think 3, wasn't it? Susan Collins, Olympia Snowe, and Joe Lieberman. Oh no, wait a minute. No, he's not a Republican. Okay, so 2. Oh no, wait a minute. I guess in the last minute, Olympia Snowe, she didn't vote for it. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, well, it was bipartisan because they offered it to the Republicans, didn't they? Okay. What was another promise? Another promise was that it would be transparent. Transparent. How many times did President, or then candidate Obama, promise that this would be aired on C-SPAN? All the proceedings. I seem to recall him saying, "You're going to know who's on your side and who's on the side of the insurance. We're going to have this all on C-SPAN." They did have it on C-SPAN for 1 hour. And then after that, the president sent a little memo to the news agencies saying, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and I are working on this legislation and we're making progress. Man, that's really being transparent. What was another promise? Cost. President Obama and the congressional Democrats promised that this bill, this entire legislation, will not exceed a cost of $900 billion, which will pay for itself. 30 million, 40 million people brought into health insurance, health care. In over 10 years, it's going to pay for itself. Not only that, it will reduce the deficit. Wow, they must be geniuses. Now wait a minute. I thought that the health care legislation goes into effect in 2013, but we start paying for it in 2010. Now wait a minute. So 10 years of payment and 6 years of services. That's kind of like you buy a house and you start making payments on it 4 years before you move into it. That's a nice way of doing figures. What's another promise? No abortion. Okay? We remember that wonderful speech that President Obama gave at that most magnificent Catholic of Catholic schools, Notre Dame. We should be proud of them for heralding our great president. Didn't he talk about how difficult abortion is, how heart-wrenching it is? And therefore, of course, logically, no federal dollars will be used to promote abortion. Well, the Catholic Conference of Bishops, and by the way, I am Catholic. No, I am, as a Catholic, very proud of my faith, the sacred Word of God, and in this instance, I am very proud of the Catholic Conference of Bishops. They did the right thing. They spoke against the abortion funding in this legislation, which is there, as I pointed out, in health insurance exchanges. But I don't believe they went far enough. It goes beyond that. You see, this legislation is permeated with abortion promotion as much as a rusty car is permeated with rust. You may look at the outside of the car and you see a little bit of rust, then you get in and your foot goes through the footboard and then you pull on the steering wheel and it falls off, and this is kind of what this legislation is like. Let me explain. Family planning consultation. For low-income people, this will become mandatory under the health insurance exchanges. What does that mean? You go in, you talk with the father and the mother, or if there's only a mother or a father, Say, hey, don't have a lot of money, and you're having kids. You ever thought about contraception? Ever thought about family planning? Ever thought about abortion? School clinics, mandated under this legislation. What are school clinics? Well, they're for the health and well-being of our children. All fine and good. Immunizations, etc., all fine and good. Pregnancy planning. Ever thought about using contraceptives? Oh, you're pregnant? Oh, you're only 15? Oh, well, Planned Parenthood. And by the way, you can get a judicial bypass. Doctor training. Medical school is extremely expensive. Medical students are going to be looking for ways, and I would too if I were a medical student, of saving costs. And of course, the government will extend a helping hand. Part of that helping hand is training to do abortions. Guess who's going to be paying for that? You got it. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, in the actual healthcare exchanges, federal dollars will come in to subsidize insurance companies that provide abortions. We as people of faith need to speak out against these travesties. Now, I'm going to mention one more, and this is the one that really caught the news all over the place. It goes under the title, the general title of embezzlement. Embezzlement, oh, wow. Something the ACLU really loves to defend. Great thing, great thing. What about embezzlement? Well, let's say I'm working for a company and, someone makes a donation, or I'm working for a campaign, someone makes a donation of $30,000 and, I want to buy that new, Toyota, and I'm just missing that money. And after all, I need that car for my work, so hey, I'll just take the contribution. I could very easily end up in jail for that, right? Embezzlement. When Harry Reid takes taxpayer dollars and offers on the night of a vote $300 million of those taxpayer dollars to Senator Mary Landrieu as part of an encouragement for her to vote for health care. Oh, no, it's not for health care. It's to help out with Katrina victims. What? It happened on the eve of the vote? Well, that's just coincidental. When he does that, he does it with impunity. When Harry Reid talks to Ben Nelson, who was a holdout to the very end, the 60th vote for health care legislation, and says, hey, Ben, you know that Medicaid expansion in your state? Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. It's not going to cost your state $100 million. When he does that, when he uses taxpayer funds to encourage members of his own party to vote for their legislation, he does it with impunity. I thought the law applied equally to everyone, but seemingly it doesn't. Okay, let's now go to our response, perhaps the most important part of this presentation.